You ever wake up and think, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like one day you're convinced you're on track to be successful, and the next you're debating whether you can afford to buy actual food instead of just buying oats and chocolate again. Your 20s are the weirdest decade. One friend just bought a house, another is still living at home gaming 12 hours a day, and some guy from school is suddenly a fitness influencer who only eats liver. How is anyone supposed to know what normal is? If you've ever felt lost, behind, or like you're making it up as you go, good news, you're not alone. Let's talk about why this happens, and more importantly, what to do about it. School was like playing Pokemon X and Y. You have the new experience share, you're probably super over-leveled for every single gym in the game, and you have so many Pokemon at your disposal, so you just show up, you do the work, level up, but then what now? Life's suddenly an open-world game, with no objective markers. Kinda like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet actually. And you're just wandering around, hoping to accidentally trigger the main quest. And the worst part? Social media makes it look like everyone else has their entire life sorted out. Some people are married, others are still sending you memes at 2 AM. No one tells you which timeline is the right one. So if you feel like you're guessing your way through adulthood, congrats, that means you're doing it right. Growing up, we were told we needed to find the thing, the perfect job, the ideal career, the one passion that would magically make everything click. Reality check, most people don't figure it out. They just pick something and adjust as they go. Honestly, when I was 18, I had no clue what the hell I wanted to do with my life. I decided just to go for chemistry because I liked chemistry in high school. It was actually not what I was the best at, but I was pretty decent. So I thought, this is probably gonna be a fun journey, so let me go ahead and pick that. And I ended up getting a master's degree, but there's so many times during my degree where I thought, I'd actually rather study psychology or maybe business or maybe something music related since I love playing music. Because I thought maybe I don't want to be in a lab forever. Maybe that's not actually my calling. Maybe that's not what I really want to be doing with my life, but it's kind of a plan B. And fast forward to now, I make YouTube videos, I do photo shoots, I've done some guitar coaching, I've coached people a little bit on life clarity. So what I'm trying to say here is you never really know where things will take you. What I started doing is, instead of stressing over, what is my true calling? What do I actually want to do? I started asking myself, what's one thing that seems interesting right now? That's how I make progress. You can just commit a single month to exploring that thing, whether it be coding, whether it be learning a new instrument. See if you really like it. That really helped me to figure out what I actually liked. And I want to emphasize that your 20s aren't about having the answers. They're about testing things out. Like when you restarted your Pokemon Emerald to finally pick Trico as your starter. Things I'd recommend is pick up a new skill, move to a different city. Try a side hustle, meet new people. Worst case, you figure out what doesn't work for you. I'm actually moving to Copenhagen in a couple of weeks, which will definitely spice things up for me. And I remember the last time I lived abroad was in Cardiff in Wales, and that really made me grow a lot as a person. Because I had so many new experiences, I really pushed my comfort zone there. So try one of these things. One of them is most likely gonna drastically change the trajectory of your life. So while some of the prior coaching, content creation, and helping friends get into fitness were great and fun, none of them were the final answer, but they were an important experience added to a bigger piece of the puzzle, which has made me the person I am today, with the skills I have today and the passions I have today. And this should be easy, right? Just try something new and see what happens. But I know that social media messes with your head. But we gotta remember that social media is a highlight reel. You see people traveling the world, making 6 figures and looking shredded year round, but you don't see the years of work, or the fact that half of it is fake. When I was learning how to become a good photographer, I did in the beginning find myself comparing a lot of my photos to Instagram accounts with 100,000 followers, and obviously it's gonna feel unfair. It's like taking your level 10 Pikachu to battle someone's fully EV trained level 100 Raichu. You're obviously not gonna win that fight. So instead of comparing yourself to random internet strangers, compare yourself to who you were last year. That's the only progress that actually matters. You can even go as far as trying a 7-day social media detox, which I'd highly recommend, or at least drastically reduce the time you spend on Instagram, TikTok, and all these social medias. You'll be surprised how much better you feel when you're not constantly seeing highlight reels of everyone else's life. If you're not sure where to start, what I've found that actually matters in your 20s is the following 5 things. First of all is how to manage your money. Honestly, learning a bit more about money and investing and saving has been really great for me, and it's given me a lot more freedom here in my 20s. So I'd highly recommend to look into also skills that can make you more money, just understanding money a bit better than you currently do. And I think self-discipline is really key in your 20s. What you do on the daily, it matters way more than occasionally doing what you feel like and spending 12 hours on that. These consistent habits, they will really grow exponentially over time. Like for me, going to the gym is currently effortless. I'm helping my friend who's obese currently getting into shape, and I can tell it's difficult for him to go just once a week and twice a week. And I sometimes forget that it used to be something that I had to plan into my calendar and really think about. Now I can easily go 3, 4, or 5 times a week without it taxing me mentally or anything. It's quite the opposite actually. It actually recovers my mind and really gives me a lot of energy and satisfaction. And next up, I think at some point working on your networking and social skills really pays off well, because there'll be opportunities that show up from the people you know. And if you're in contact with more people and you have more friends, you'll kind of increase the quote-unquote luck factor of something great happening in your life. In order to become good at networking, you should also work on your emotional intelligence. Knowing how to handle people and yourself is really a cheat code. I'd highly recommend reading the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's such a great book on both improving your social skills and your emotional intelligence. And then finally, in the world we live in today, adaptability is a really key skill that's worth working on. I'm a guy that likes structure, but I've actually gotten used to having structured chaos, is what I like to call it. In that I structure my calendar, but I realize that every single day some things can come up that's gonna derail my plan completely. And being able to adapt on the spot and change your plan really quickly is a really key skill in today's world. I also work in 2 startups, so that skill has really been built there, and it's invaluable in my personal life as well. So realize that most adults, they're still figuring things out. No one is truly ahead or behind. Everyone is just on their own path. And the key isn't knowing what you want, it's moving forward and adjusting as you go. Remember, adaptability? So instead of stressing over what's my life plan, ask what's the next baby step I can take? And then take that baby step not in 1 month, but start it up immediately and see how you respond to it, see how you like it. So while your 20s are a confusing mess and it can feel really isolating, oh man, am I the only one having these thoughts? Realize that's normal. Your goal isn't to have all the answers, it's to build the confidence to handle whatever comes next. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your 20s? Let's have a discussion about it. And if this video helped, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's also trying to figure out their life. Let's go through this mess that's our 20s together.